These are the 10 foods that will make building muscle significantly easier, and I'm going to break down exactly why each one works, backed by the actual science that researchers have spent decades figuring out. The fitness industry has turned nutrition into something way more complicated than it needs to be, with influencers pushing 17 different supplements, meal timing protocols that require spreadsheets to follow, and debates about protein sources that never seem to resolve. But here's the thing, when you actually dig into what the research shows, the hierarchy is surprisingly simple. Total daily protein intake sits at the top. Leucine content of each meal comes next. Even distribution throughout the day follows that. And timing around workouts, marginal benefits at best. Today we're cutting through all of that noise by looking at position stands from the International Society of Sports Nutrition, meta-analyses covering thousands of participants, and insights from researchers who've published hundreds of papers on this exact topic. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to eat, how much, and why it actually works. If you've been trying to bulk for months and your physique still hasn't changed, this is for you. Most people trying to gain muscle are not lacking effort, they're lacking structure. You can work out 5 days a week, but if your calories, macros, and meals aren't dialed in, you will not grow, period. That's exactly why I built my bulking blueprint, the step-by-step plan that shows you exactly what to eat, how much to eat, how to train, and how to bulk without getting fat. And listen, if my free videos already help you, imagine what happens when you follow the full system I actually use in real life. Stop guessing and start growing. Click the link right now to unlock the bulking blueprint while it's still discounted. Your dream physique starts the moment you take action, and that moment is right now. Before we get into the specific foods, you need to understand what your body actually requires to build muscle. The International Society of Sports Nutrition put out their landmark position stand in 2017, and it remains the gold standard for protein recommendations, suggesting 1.4 to 2.0 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight per day for exercising individuals seeking muscle growth. A massive 2018 meta-analysis by Morton and colleagues analyzed 49 studies with over 1,800 participants and discovered something worth paying attention to. Protein supplementation beyond 1.62 grams per kilogram per day produced no further gains in fat-free mass, which means that number essentially serves as the ceiling for most people. Per meal protein matters too. The ISSN recommends about 0.25 grams per kilogram of body weight per serving, working out to around 20 to 40 grams in absolute terms, distributed every 3 to 4 hours. And here's the detail that most people miss entirely. Each dose should contain 700 to 3,000 milligrams of leucine, because leucine is the amino acid that triggers the mTORC1 signaling pathway, which functions as the switch that turns on muscle protein synthesis. Those thresholds climb higher for older adults over 65, hitting 25 to 30 grams of protein and 3 to 4 grams of leucine per meal, due to something called anabolic resistance. But for most of you watching, hitting that 2.5 to 3 gram leucine target per meal is where you want to be. One more thing before we get into the foods themselves. You've probably heard about the anabolic window, that supposed 30-minute period after your workout where you absolutely must consume protein or lose all your gains. A 2013 meta-analysis by Schoenfeld and Aragon examined this claim and found that if an anabolic window exists at all, it extends far beyond 1 hour, and the positive effects seen in timing studies were actually explained by higher total protein intake, rather than the timing itself. You don't need to chug a protein shake the second you rack your last set, because total daily protein consumption is what moves the needle. With that foundation covered, let's get into the foods. Food number 10, turkey breast. Turkey breast makes this list for good reason, even though chicken usually steals the spotlight. A 3-ounce serving delivers 26 grams of protein with about 2 grams of leucine, which means a single serving nearly hits your leucine threshold for triggering muscle protein synthesis. What gives turkey its advantage is the calorie count, coming in at only 125 calories for that serving, and making it leaner than chicken breast. Beyond the protein, you're getting 48% of your daily selenium needs, 38% of your B6, and 30 milligrams of magnesium, all micronutrients that support everything from thyroid function to protein metabolism. For those of you in a gaining phase who need to hit high protein targets without excessive calories, turkey breast gives you more room in your daily budget for the carbohydrates and fats you need to fuel hard training. Food number 9, This one might surprise some of you, especially if you've been told that plant proteins can't build muscle. But let's look at what lentils actually deliver before we address that debate. 1 cup of cooked lentils provides 18 grams of protein with 1.3 grams of leucine, along with 90% of your daily folate, 37% of your iron, and a whopping 15 grams of fiber. And here's where it gets interesting. Lentils cost roughly 2.2 cents per gram of protein, making them the single cheapest protein source available. Now I have to be honest about the limitation, because lentils have a ISSN score, which measures protein quality of only 0.51 to 0.58, and that's significantly lower than animal proteins. The solution comes from a traditional combination that modern science has validated. Just pair them with rice to create a complete amino acid profile. Budget-conscious lifters and anyone looking to incorporate more plant-based options should consider lentils a legitimate muscle-building food when you account for their lower bioavailability by eating a bit more total protein. Food number 8. Canned tuna. Canned tuna earned its status as the quintessential bodybuilding food for good reason, delivering 22 grams of protein and 1.7 grams of leucine and only 73 calories from a 3-ounce serving. That calorie-to-protein ratio is exceptional. You're also getting 85% of your daily B12 and 56% of your selenium, and at roughly 4.4 cents per gram of protein, it ranks among the most cost-effective options on this list. The convenience factor shouldn't be overlooked either, since there's no cooking required. It has a long shelf life and you can throw it on a salad, mix it with some rice, or just eat it straight from the can if you're in a pinch. Busy people trying to hit protein targets will find that having a few cans in the pantry removes the excuse of not having time to prepare food. Food number 7. Cottage cheese. Cottage cheese deserves way more attention than it gets, and here's why it earns a spot on this list. 1 cup delivers 28 grams of protein with 2.5 grams of leucine, which means that single serving hits your leucine threshold. But the real magic of cottage cheese lies in the type of protein it contains, which is predominantly casein, a slow-digesting protein. Research shows that consuming 30 to 40 grams of casein before bed increases overnight muscle protein synthesis by approximately 22% without increasing fat gain. Think about that for a second, because you sleep for 7 or 8 hours, and that's a long time without protein. Cottage cheese provides 6 to 7 hours of sustained amino acid release, essentially feeding your muscles while you sleep. At about 5.4 cents per gram of protein, it's affordable, requires zero preparation, and solves the overnight fasting problem that most people don't even think about. Food number 6. Greek yogurt. Greek yogurt offers something unique that no other single food on this list provides, because it contains both fast-digesting whey and slow-digesting casein in the same serving. A 6-ounce serving delivers 17 grams of protein with 1.5 grams of leucine, along with 18% of your daily calcium, 21% of your B12, and beneficial probiotics for gut health. The ISSN score ranges from 0.97 to 1.05, putting it in the excellent category for protein quality, and at about 5.4 cents per gram of protein, it fits most budgets. Versatility makes it easy to incorporate into your daily routine, since you can mix it with some berries for breakfast, use it as a base for smoothies, or eat it plain as a snack. 2 cups gets you 34 grams of protein, which serves as a solid meal portion for anyone focused on muscle growth. Food number 5. Salmon. Salmon earns its spot not just for the protein, but for what comes alongside it in every serving. 3 ounces provides 22 grams of protein and 1.8 grams of leucine, with a ISSN score of 0.95, putting it in the excellent category. But here's what sets salmon apart from other protein sources. You're getting 1.5 grams of omega-3 fatty acids, 71% of your daily vitamin D, and 80% of your B. Those omega-3s may actually enhance muscle protein synthesis beyond what the protein alone provides. And research suggests that omega-3 supplementation can augment the anabolic response to amino acids. Getting them from whole food sources like salmon gives you that benefit in a complete nutritional package. Yes, salmon costs more at roughly 13 cents per gram of protein, but 2 or 3 servings per week delivers benefits that cheaper proteins simply don't provide. Food number 4. Whey protein. Whey protein is technically a supplement rather than a food, but it deserves a spot on this list because of what the research shows about its unique properties. One scoop delivers about 25 grams of protein, with 2.5 to 3 grams of leucine, which represents 10 to 11% of the total protein content. The DIAS score ranges from 1.09 to 1.25, the highest of any protein source. And here's the key differentiator. Whey absorbs at 8 to 10 grams per hour, making it the fastest absorbing protein available. To put that in perspective, whey absorbs 3 to 4 times faster than chicken breast, making it ideal for the post-workout period, even though we've established that timing isn't as critical as total intake. At roughly 4.2 cents per gram of protein, whey also ranks as remarkably cost-effective. Dr. Stuart Phillips, who has published over 350 peer-reviewed papers on protein metabolism, put it simply when he said it should always be a food-first approach, and then maybe a supplement. Whey fills gaps when whole foods aren't practical. Food number 3, beef, particularly lean cuts, has served as a bodybuilding staple for decades, and the research backs up its reputation. 3 ounces of lean beef provides 22 grams of protein, with 1.7 to 2.4 grams of leucine, depending on the cut, and the DIAS score of 1.11 places it among the highest quality protein sources. You're also getting 43% of your daily B12, 32% of your zinc, and 15% of your iron. But here's what really sets beef apart from other protein sources. It contains natural creatine at roughly half a gram per serving, and creatine is the only compound proven to directly enhance strength and power output. Many people supplement with creatine separately, but beef provides it as part of the complete package. The zinc content proves particularly important for muscle building, because zinc is critical for testosterone production and protein synthesis. And this combination of high-quality protein, natural creatine, and zinc makes beef one of the most anabolic whole foods available. Cost ranges from about 6.3 to 16 cents per gram of protein, depending on the cut, which doesn't make it the cheapest option. But for those who can fit it in their budget, the nutrient density is hard to beat. Food number 2, chicken breast. Chicken breast has earned its reputation as the king of bodybuilding proteins, and the numbers explain exactly why. 3 ounces delivers 26 grams of protein, with 2 to 2.5 grams of leucine, meaning a single serving nearly hits or exceeds the leucine threshold for maximizing muscle protein synthesis. The DIAS score of 1.08 is excellent. Bioavailability runs between 92 and 94%, and you're getting 59% of your daily niacin, 46% of your B6, and 43% of your selenium. At 3.9 to 4.5 cents per gram of protein, chicken breast offers the best combination of protein quality and affordability among animal sources. Versatility matters too, since you can grill it, bake it, throw it in a slow cooker, or meal prep a week's worth in under an hour. And for someone eating 150 plus grams of protein daily, chicken breast makes hitting those targets sustainable both financially and practically. Arnold Schwarzenegger himself made chicken a cornerstone of his competition diet, consuming 250 grams of protein daily at his peak, with chicken as one of his primary sources alongside eggs, beef, fish, and cottage cheese. Food number 1. Eggs take the top spot, and when you understand the full picture, you'll see why they've earned it. One large egg provides 6 grams of protein, with 0.54 grams of leucine, a DIAS score of 1.13, which is excellent, and bioavailability jumps to 91% when cooked. We'll get to that cooking detail in a second, because it matters. Look beyond just the protein, and you'll find that each egg delivers 54% of your daily choline, 37% of your B12, and 44% of your selenium. Choline is essential for cell membrane integrity and neurotransmitter synthesis, and most people don't get enough of it. At 6 to 8 cents per gram of protein, eggs are budget-friendly, and 4 to 5 eggs hits your 2.5 gram leucine threshold, while costing less than $1. Now about that myth that some people still believe because of Rocky. Raw eggs are not better for muscle building because cooking eggs increases their bioavailability by denaturing avidin, a protein that otherwise blocks biotin absorption, making cooked eggs objectively superior for your goals. Some historical context might surprise you here. Vince Gironda, the legendary Golden Era trainer known as the Iron Guru, famously claimed that eating 36 eggs daily had the same effect as anabolic steroids. He also developed the steak and eggs diet, which had bodybuilders eating 4 to 6 eggs, plus 3/4 to 1.5 pounds of steak and 2 meals daily, essentially creating a ketogenic approach decades before keto became mainstream. Eggs provide everything you need for muscle building, high-quality protein, excellent leucine content, essential micronutrients, and a price point that works for almost anyone. That's why they're number one. The plant versus animal debate. Before we wrap up, the debate about whether plant proteins can build muscle as effectively as animal proteins deserves attention. A groundbreaking study from the University of Illinois in 2024 and 2025 challenged decades of conventional wisdom when lead researcher Dr. Nicholas Bird found no difference in muscle building outcomes between plant-based and animal-based diets when total protein intake was adequate. Dr. Bird admitted that it was certainly ingrained in his mind that animal protein is better than plant, but the two diets offer the same muscle building potential. Here's the nuance that matters though. On a gram-for-gram basis, animal protein does show slightly higher acute muscle protein synthesis response. But when plant proteins are properly combined, like rice and beans, and consumed in adequate amounts, long-term muscle building results are comparable. The practical takeaway for plant-based eaters is to aim for the higher end of protein recommendations, around 1.8 to 2.2 grams per kilogram, to compensate for the roughly 10 to 15% lower bioavailability. Practical application. Implementing all of this comes down to a straightforward framework. For optimal meal timing, consume 20 to 40 grams of protein with carbs 1 to 3 hours before training, then get another 20 to 40 grams within 2 to 3 hours post-workout. Though that second window matters less if you had that pre-workout meal. Distribute your protein across 4 to 5 meals of 25 to 40 grams each, spaced every 3 to 4 hours. And don't forget pre-sleep protein with 30 to 40 grams of slow-digesting protein, like cottage cheese, about 30 minutes before bed. For a 75-pound person seeking maximum muscle growth, this translates to approximately 132 to 105 grams of protein daily. Budget constraints don't have to hold you back, because here's how the cheapest high-quality proteins rank by cost per gram. Dried lentils and beans come in at about 2.2 cents. Chicken breast runs 3.9 to 4.5 cents. Whey protein costs about 4.2 cents. Canned tuna sits at 4.4 cents. And eggs land at 6 to 8 cents. A complete high-protein diet can be built for under $25 per week using eggs, lentils, canned tuna, cottage cheese, and peanut butter. Quick reference for hitting 30 grams of protein. That's 5 large eggs, 4 ounces of chicken breast, 5 ounces of beef, 1.5 cups of cottage cheese, 2 cups of Greek yogurt, 1 can of tuna plus 1 egg, or 1.5 scoops of whey protein. Dr. Lane Norton, who holds a PhD in nutritional sciences and competes as a bodybuilder, summarized the research by saying that protein distribution doesn't matter as much as total protein, and total protein is by far the biggest lever. Dr. Mike Israel offered what might be the most practical advice of all when he said that if you can eat some pretty healthy food with high protein and it's easy to make, and any more than that would make you quit, you should stick to that. The perfect diet is the one you'll actually follow consistently. Here's what you need to remember. Hit your daily protein target, which for most of you means 1.6 to 2.2 grams per kilogram. Make sure each meal contains roughly 2.5 to 3 grams of leucine. Distribute your protein relatively evenly across the day. Include slow digesting protein before bed. And build your diet around the foods we covered today. Eggs, chicken breast, beef, whey protein, salmon, Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, canned tuna, lentils, and turkey breast. That's the formula, and it's not complicated. The hard part isn't knowing what to eat, it's doing it consistently, day after day, week after week. Now you have the knowledge, and what you do with it is up to you. If you've been trying to bulk for months and your physique still hasn't changed, this is for you. Most people trying to gain muscle are not lacking effort, they're lacking structure. You can work out 5 days a week, but if your calories, macros, and meals aren't dialed in, you will not grow, period. That's exactly why I built my bulking blueprint. The step-by-step plan that shows you exactly what to eat, how much to eat, how to train, and how to bulk without getting fat. And listen, if my free videos already help you, imagine what happens when you follow the full system I actually use in real life. Stop guessing and start growing. Click the link right now to unlock the bulking blueprint while it's still discounted. Your dream physique starts the moment you take action, and that moment is right now. If this video helped you understand the science behind muscle building nutrition, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one.